a lot of love lost between these two players. They are going to try and out-rev each other, out-power each other, out-muscle each other, everything.
Simon, it's just professional rivalry. But you're quite right, yes, they will try to do absolutely everything against one another. And it may pay off, it may not always work. Tommy Jones in his singles has shot 279 and 183. Oscar in his singles has shot 221 and 181. And he's out the pocket on the first shot. Leaves the 3, the 6 and the 10.
Well, what worries me is that he spoke about using the wrong ball in the last singles match, and that he's going to make a change, and that he was 99% sure that he was going to make that change. And you know, in a Weber Cup singles fixture, when your team's under pressure, that's not the place to experiment, but you've got no choice sometimes.
Well, all of these guys have had some practice just before the match started, and that was the time when he should have sorted out which bowling ball he was going to use. One assumes that he's made the decision that's best for him. Unfortunately, no matter what ball you've got, if you're not going to be in the 1-3 pocket for the right-hander, you're not going to make a strike. He settles for a spare in frame 1, and up steps the strike master, Mr. Tommy Jones, Mr. 300.
Starts by leaving a 10, and he was a wee bit shaky in his match in the second session. Not as strong and as powerful as we've come to know.
Probably the highest rev rate bowlers in the whole tournament, playing pretty much in the same sort of area. Tommy Jones makes his 10-pin spare, so it's all square to start with. But there is the possibility, of course, that they can affect one another's line because Osku just rips oil off the lane.
This could turn into a bit of a dogfight, this one.
Great looking shot from Osku there, frame number 2, first strike of the match. I didn't know I was going to be on television.
Tommy Jones leaves another single. Well, I'm delighted to say we've got the Team USA captain Chris Barnes, who's just popped into the booth to say a quick hi. Hi, Chris. This one's turning into a bit of a dogfight already.
Well, these two have lots of dogfights over the years. They both bowl the last set before the re-oil, and but over the years, I think this is the 7th Weber Cup for Tommy, and he's lost about 6 singles matches in all that time. I'm pretty sure he's got the upper hand in the overall record.
Yeah, takes out that single. What do you make of your opposing captain's mindset at the moment? He seems a bit fiery down there on the lanes. He's missed some unusual single pins.
Yeah, some very unusual air. So I'm sure right now there's not much fun in games. I mean, not that the Finns ever give away happy-go-lucky as a normal exuberance, but you know, this is a pretty important juncture for them to get. They've stopped from going 3 down several times, which always leaves them 1 match away from getting things even. 3 is a tough one to get back from, though. So he knows how important this is, and that one you see again. He's having a hard time getting his ball to pick up. He has so much ball speed, but even with all that rev rate, there's enough oil down lane here. He's having a hard time getting his ball to get back through the pins.
And as a captain, how do you think about things? Do you look at this as a point for the USA and, you know, let's move to 3 ahead, or do you try not to think like that?
Well, the last thing I said to Tommy before I get to that is get us 3 ahead. Get us a little breathing room with this group, because they have so many good players. Dom is just waiting to explode. He's had the best reaction for the Europeans pretty much the whole time. If Mika gets on form a little bit, Stu can get fired at any time. You know, it can swing in a hurry. So I want a little space. You know, you never know when the momentum's going to come the other way, and it's a great crowd. If they get it going, it won't take long.
And you're kind of saying that you think Osku's the man that you're going to take the point off of.
Well, historically, Tommy's had his number pretty good. And Tommy's the one guy out of our group who can play as far left as Osku and doesn't have too much trouble keeping up with his rev rate. The rest of us all would struggle in that range. And Tommy's gone back to that black game breaker that he's thrown so well here, and away from the ball he threw in the Baker match that really surprised him in that 10th frame of the Baker match.
Yeah, that was a big one for you guys, and certainly those couple of steals that Team Europe have had in the Baker have kept us in it.
Well, it was a huge, he finishes so often that mentally I think we all, we're up 3 now. I mean, we're set. You can see it's rare that Osku has trouble carrying. And again, leaving a 10 pin, the scout doesn't hit it. He's pretty good at getting that head pin back across.
I was going to say this could be a 50-50 shot on this 10 pin, couldn't it?
It's really not his favorite spare, I don't think. I don't really notice him being a bad spare shooter, but for the level of player that he is, he probably misses more than average, I guess. But still, it's not very many.
We're of the opinion that if he misses one, he can quite easily come back with 8 in a row just to cover it.
Well, he's got a lot to rely on there. He's got more power than anybody else on this lane. But this is the one guy here that you don't want to give much room to. Anytime he's had, a small lead, he's been able to jump out in front and stay in front.
Tommy Jones then looking to hang on to this advantage, and another valuable strike for him. And Chris, before you leave us and get back to supporting the team, how is the spirit in the camp?
Spirit's good. Mike made a couple of good moves, and he's feeling like he's better lined up. Bill, for the first time, has got a little bit of comfort on the lanes, and his ball, he didn't carry a lot, but he was around the pocket for the first time. So
Osku getting back in the rack, and things I think are going to remain very tasty through to the end of this game. And Chris, thank you very much for joining us. We'll let you get back to the team and see you again soon, hopefully.
Yeah, glad to be up here. Thanks for letting me up in the booth for a little while, and doing a great job, guys. Thanks.
Hey, no problem. You're always welcome. Chris Barnes, the Team USA captain, just giving us the latest on what's going on. And I can tell you, he's a happy man. He just walked out of the booth smiling from ear to ear, and that's probably a good sign for the Americans.
Always handy to have Superman on your squad. Tommy looking for 3 strikes in a row just to maintain that 20-pin lead.
Yeah, both men are finding a line at the Barnsley Metrodome, where Osku Palermaa for Team Europe is taking on the USA's Tommy Jones.
3 strikes in a row for Tommy Jones as we get to the halfway stage.
Turkey for Tommy, and Palermaa has it all to do at the moment. Osku working a strike, and it was a nice strike as well last time out. Really does need to try and compose himself. As you heard from Chris Barnes, they want the point to go 3 ahead. Team Europe need this point to keep the USA in touching distance.
Locked in to that 1-3 pocket. Anything, and I mean anything, is possible, strike-wise.
Well, it was a good pocket hit, but again, another one of those balls, Cass, that just looked like it had to go back to work on the spare shot. Takes it out. But a small advantage to the Team Europe captain right now, and boy, does he need this point.
5-9-2-5-8.
There's some trepidation ahead of each delivery that Osku throws, but no need on that occasion. He makes it Turkey as well, so 3 in a row for Palermaa. And this momentum starting to swing his way.
Pressure goes back on to Tommy Jones from Team USA. It's a strike to stay in touch. I thought it was a little bit wide, but certainly ripped the rack and exploded those pins in the back of the pin deck. Great looking shot. So once again, up. Pressure goes to Osku Palermaa. 3 in a row, and he'll certainly want 4. And makes 4. No, it's really starting to look good now. Not so many smiles on the face of the American side. Friends as they are.
Tommy Jones has just been fishing around a little bit with his line. And again, a 10 stands, and that was a controlled shot as well. It was another reasonable pocket hit, and looked like it should have cleaned them out.
It should have been the double that he was decreases.
Oh, it's a game of fractions. Little stumble there at the foul line, but he's managed to take that 10 pin out just.
Yes, it was close, wasn't it? Mike Fagan thinks it's quite funny, but was he just pulling faces at the camera? Tommy was a bit more serious, and I think he's gone off to get another bowling ball to try and carry those corner pins, because if you're not striking, you've got to do something. Running out of frames, we're already up to the foundation frame, frame 9, and Osku is on 4 strikes in a row.
Yes, down goes the 10 pin, up go the cheers here in Barnsley.
Osku is back, Osku is
That's
back.
a sweet strike. Now then, Tommy, what change has he made? He was using that, his familiar old favourite, the game breaker ball. I'm not sure that he's changed it. No, he's back with the same ball. And finally gets the 10 pin out. Not the most convincing way to do it, but he'll take it.
Looking back at the score sheet, Tommy Jones could have had 8 strikes in a row here. Unfortunately, there's a couple of spares in between which breaks those strikes up. Shoot Tommy Jones out of this game.
Massive chance for the European captain to make at least partial amends for some of the problems he's had at Weber Cup 13. No, he leaves the 10. Don't do this to us, Osku. It's painful.
Well, a spare and a strike will be 238, and if Tommy Jones can strike out, he'll have 238, and we'll have the first tie on our hands.
Oh, your heart's in your mouth. Every 10-pin spare, single-pin spare for Osku Palermaa is a bit of a trial, but he's got through this one.
I wasn't going to say anything, but he certainly hit it hard, and it jumped all round the back of the pin deck.
Doesn't want to open the door. And I'm afraid he has. Well, it's marginal because it leaves him at 235. But it's those 3 pins that may prove all important.
Well, the thing is, Tommy Jones doesn't have to strike 3 times now. He just has to strike twice and shoot 8 pins, sorry. 2 strikes and 8. And he'll be the winner. But to get those 2 strikes, obviously he's got to get the first one to give him the chance to get the second one. So first ball must be a strike. Otherwise,
this is not guaranteed for Tommy Jones. And the US team are watching on intently here. First part of the job is done, and Jones liked that from the first inch that it left his hand. Shot then for TJ. It's in, it's in. 2 strikes in a row from the Terminator. And now, as Cash said, just needs this count to beat his opponent and make it 9-6 to the USA.
There is nobody you could ask better to shoot 3 strikes at the end of the game. Well, he's gone striking 9, 2 in the 10th, and only needs 8 pins here, but he is locked into that 1-3 pocket, and I can't see him missing out, and I hope that hasn't put the mockers, as we say, on him. But he is locked. Chris has got his fingers crossed and a big smile on. Strike for 238 and a victory.
Yeah, slightly fixed grin from the US captain. Let's see if he can turn it into a real smile. Oh, no! You are kidding me. I don't believe that has just happened. And Tommy Jones, way inside his mark, loses this one by a single pin. He can't believe it. Chris Barnes can't believe it, and Cass Edwards, we certainly can't believe it.
Did somebody say they're going to put the mockers on him? I mean, that was just outrageous. He's been in the pocket every shot this game, except the last ball, which he needed to win. He needed 8 pins, and he only took 6.
Well, we've seen bowlers in the past, when they need an 8 count, just take out the spare ball and throw it straight at the head pin to get as big a clearance as they can, but he went with his strike ball. He tried to get in the pocket, and this one cut up on him so badly. Well, that is a huge result for Team Europe.
That ball just did not break anything up, and Tommy Jones can't believe it. Puts his reputation on the line, and unfortunately loses by 1 pin.
Believe it, Tommy. Osku Palermaa 235, Tommy Jones 234. Europe take another point.